You'll be focusing on your proposal's required components, so you'll be looking at your program, seeing what is needed, and then working with your writing instructor on common writing issues that you have. So you'll be able to advance your proposal, and then towards the end create a tailored plan. The rest of the workshops, the proposal and each of the 3 individual sections and the post-proposal work on this slightly different cadence. So let me go over here. I'm going to give you the discussions. Remember, each week has a discussion and an assignment component. So week 1 is an introduction to your writing and specifically the proposal or section that you're working on. So it's kind of a self-assessment of where you're at. And then in weeks 2 through 5, in the discussion, you're going to address a selected writing topic that specifically relates to issues in your writing. So there's some learning resources to help you with use of active voice. Someone mentioned in the chat the meal plan for effective paragraphing. So there are some resources for that, how to paraphrase, effectively. There's a number of topics there. You get the idea. So you will look at the learning resources and then address in the discussion how you can address these writing issues in your own writing. And then you can you're encouraged to submit a before and after excerpt after you've had time to look at learning resources for the particular writing related issue that you've chosen, so you can get some one-on-one feedback on that from your colleagues and the professor. And then week 6, you will identify your SMART goals for progressing as a scholar. The 6 weeks are not intended for you to necessarily finish whatever section you're on, but it gives you a good guide for carrying on. So like I mentioned before, they provide one-on-one writing instruction that's based in the work that you're doing for your proposal. And I'm using proposal just as a general term. You also get supportive group work with peers in the discussion forum. The discussion forum is there to help you work through those issues and to create a sense of community with others who are in the same position that you're in, and taking the feedback that you have been given from your instructor to keep working on your drafts. And you can of course take multiple workshops if you like. But week 6, you're looking at specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely goals for going forward, and that's a discussion component. The deadlines are a little bit different, perhaps, from your coursework. So for the discussion, you submit your initial post by day 3, and then follow-ups, you are required to respond to at least 2 colleagues by day 5. And the other workshops, the week-by-week assignments, which is the second component of each workshop. Week 1, you remember in the discussion you kind of did a self-assessment of your writing. Week 1's assignment is an expansion of that, looking at your scholarly writing, what issues you might have, what you want to address in this workshop. And then weeks 2 through 5, you'll revise your draft. I think I mentioned you submit up to 5 pages of your excerpt of your draft each week in these weeks 2 through 5, and then you get one-on-one feedback from your writing instructor, and you can resubmit those or move on to the next 5 pages of your draft. You have some leeway for that, but know that you get one-on-one writing feedback for those pages. And then week 6, you're going to look at those SMART goals and develop a post-workshop strategy for continuing your good work. Deadlines, again, this is important. So the excerpt that you submit each week for weeks 2 through 5 are due for all weeks are due on day 4. We have you submit a little bit earlier so that your writing instructors have time to turn that around quickly, so that you can take into account the feedback that you're given on, week 2's excerpt. You can take the feedback you get from the instructor into consideration for when you submit week 3. Because your instructors have 4 days to turn your excerpt around. So that's a quicker turnaround time than I think most courseworks. So I mentioned all the workshops are satisfactory, unsatisfactory, and for all the other workshops other than the pre-proposal, you must complete all of the components in weeks 1 and 6. So your initial discussion post, 2 response, and the assignments in weeks 1 and 6. And then you participate in all of the weekly discussion activities through weeks 2 through 5. And you may miss 1 week of responses to classmates' posts without penalty. And for the assignments, you complete at least 3 of the 4 in weeks 2 through 5. So this is more of, there aren't points assigned in the same way that the pre-proposal is, but it's more of a check mark. If you submit these assignments and complete the discussion posts as instructed, you'll get a check mark.